Hi, I'm Jules. I'm a working mom with two young children and I live in Southeast Asia. A lot of people have asked me what motivated me to do what made me interested in helping ordinary persons like me build motivation and carry ourselves out with confidence. So I go back to where my journey began. When I was a teenager, I used to be a non-motivated person. I was lacking in confidence and I just had no direction. So my mom was a protective mom and literally she laid out everything for me and I didn't have to do much to fight for myself. So I literally just relied on her to get anything done. But when I was 14 years old, someone came to my school. I still clearly remember that moment. His name was Dr. Lawrence Walter. And it was the first time for me to find out there was something called better techniques to conduct my studies. He introduced me to a program that could help individuals like me to improve the way I study. But at the time, I didn't even felt that need to want to do better in my studies. I didn't feel that I needed that. But nevertheless, I told my mom about it, and my mom was always pro attending classes, attending tuitions, and extra help that could project me further. So I was a little bit skeptical, but I talked with my best friend Michelle, and we said, okay, why not? We just go for this class. Our parents approved, and we both went to this program that was conducted over the weekend, and it was an amazing program. I had never attended a seminar in that kind of energized environment. I was shocked. I was energized by the energy that was projected throughout the hall, and I literally changed my perspective of life. And when I came back, I was a changed person. I wanted to set new goals for myself, and for the first time I felt that I wanted to improve myself in my studies. So I used the techniques he taught me in the course. Main things like mind mapping and also speed reading. These were things that I never knew existed before. So I started to draw mind maps of the things that I learned. I drew up posters motivating myself. I set my goals that I wanted to achieve. And I was a goal setter at that time. And right after that, I started to implement techniques of speed reading throughout my life until today. When I go back to office, when I'm back in office, when I read mails, I take half the time that other people do. People take 5 minutes to read a mail. I do it in 1 minute because I know the technique of doing it, and I find that so useful in my life. I am able to do things much faster than what other people would do. And I had this realization forward when it was in school that if I wanted something, I had to fight for it. I had to change myself. I could not depend on my mother to get that results for me. So I tried to better myself every time in my exams. I was not the top student, but I put in the hours, I put in the effort, and I could see that I was always the better version of myself each time. So when you're competing, you're always competing with yourself, not with others. Yeah. And then I realized, I liked the new version of myself, and all was good. But there was one thing that I failed to realize, that I struggled a lot with self-confidence because I was really shy, and I did not mingle with other people much. As I was shy, I was stuck to my comfort zone, and my circle of friends was really, small. So naturally, my friends were always the same group of people. When I went to college, I was still that very same shy and secure person when I started in school. But I did not realize one thing that was lacking is my lack of confidence. I was really an insecure person. If you see me at that time, anywhere I go, I must have a companion with me. And without Michelle around, I was really lost. I was more of a loner, and I had a very small group of friends. And because I don't socialize much, I did not know how to. My circle of friends were really tiny. So when I went into college, everybody had different ideas of college and different directions. So I lost my backup or my security because my friends were no longer there, and I had to mingle with new people, and that scared me out of my own self. And I depended on people. When I went to college, I made new friends, and I stuck to them like a leech. I depended on them to make decisions in life, like what subjects to take, what could what they thought was good for them. I thought it was good for me too, and I was very much a follower. I didn't know how to make decisions of my own. And during that time, I was not sure. After my pre-university exams, I had to choose a subject that I needed to major in. And I asked around, and people were telling me that computer science was the degree that was hot on the market. But before I went to university, I was working a part-time job as a draftswoman, tracing architectural drawings, and I felt that calling, that I really enjoyed doing that. I really enjoyed drawing, and I thought that it was a calling for me to do arts. But because of the peers around me telling me that there's a better future of doing computer science, I trusted their instincts more than I trusted mine, and therefore I did what everyone advised me to do. I made that decision that I would take up computer science. And I did that decision without checking whether I was anywhere near interested in that subject. So throughout that 3 years of degree program, I struggled. I would like to share with anyone out there who are making that decision on what to study. Do some investigation on what you want to study, and just check if you're really interested in that. And throughout that 3 years, it was a torture, a nightmare for me. I did not enjoy what I was studying, and I applied the same thing as I applied when I was in high school. I studied the subjects, theoretical subjects, without, I did well in theoretical subjects, but when it comes to practical, computer science requires development. I sucked at that. I just barely scraped through, and I wasn't happy with what I was doing. And I hated development to the core. But what would surprise you most, if I were to tell you that when I first started my first job, I applied for the job of an IT developer. That time I went through all the job postings, and nothing appealed to me. None of the jobs appealed to me. And I felt that all that 3 years of studying computer science, I must at least utilize what I've learned in my job. So therefore, I chose an IT developer job. And that time, my uncle, told me, he was in this industry of computer science, and he told me, why not join this consulting firm, because this job has a good future. For the first 3 years, I did not enjoy my job. I wasn't good at what I was supposed to do. I was not able to master development coding, because I had very little passion in it. Yeah. And I was literally on the bench. On the bench means that you are put aside while you see your other colleagues go to the customer side to do projects, but you are put aside because your skill sets is not really up to par. So it was crushing to my own self-confidence. I was crushed, and my confidence went rock bottom. I did not know what to do. I was having sleepless nights. I cried. I just kept everything inside. And my parents knew about it, and they were so kind. They offered me an olive branch. They said, Jules, we are going to, give you an offer that if you want, you can take this opportunity to do your master's overseas, and that would give you some experience, some exposure, being overseas, to deal with different people with different cultures. But still, I haven't broken my weakness yet, because that time I was still having this insecurity in myself. I was so scared to even go out and do a master's, because I would be going alone and not knowing anybody. I was literally scared out of my life. And something in me told myself that am I running from the problem that I have? And if I leave this job and I choose the easier path, I would not have solved the problem that I was facing, and I would not achieve anything that I've worked for the past 3 years. It would meant a wasted 3 years. So at the time, my uncle told me, Jules, if you continue to do what you're doing now and you expect a different result, then you're kidding yourself. You've got to change your response in order to get a different result. But what I did not want to do to myself is to run away from a problem that that I learned nothing from the experience. And during that time, one manager came back to me and asked me, would you like me to coach you to pick up that new skill that you wanted to do? And I was surprised. I was not reporting to this lady, and she was, so kind to even, give me that opportunity. And I said, yeah, why not? Yes, I would take it. And I studied under her. She coached me. It was not an easy kind of coaching, because she really, wanted me to push myself out of my limits. And I did it, I think, within 3 months. I took that certification and I passed. I was surprised because, and I was truly grateful that I met this mentor that would give me that opportunity in life. And to this day, I would always remember what she had done for me. I've lost touch with her, but if she she saw this video, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for giving me that second chance when no one else believed in me. And because of what you did, I am where I am today because of you. And my life, to this day, I am still still very grateful for what she did, because she gave me another chance when no one else would do that for me, and she gave me back my confidence. I promised myself that if I were to meet another individual who is in the same state as me, then I would pay it forward and coach the person to be the better version of themselves and to give themselves a second chance. I believe everyone needs that second chance. So after that, experience, things started to change for me. My father introduced me to an organization called Toastmasters. At that time, I had very little knowledge of what that means, and Google wasn't around then, and I thought, Toastmasters? Was it about toasting and eating? I wasn't interested in it, but I saw my dad was so active in this organization, attending bi-weekly meetings, and even became the president of the organization. So curiosity got the better out of me when I decided to follow him in one of the meetings. And it was then I decided to step one step forward, and I tried my first speech. So before that speech, I practiced in front of the mirror for my first and only speech in my whole life about myself. And I practiced and practiced and imagined myself in front of the audience. It was terrifying, the thought of it. But I told myself that I'm going to give it a try, and if it doesn't work out, it's fine, I can just move on, but I must give myself a chance to do it. So I went there and gave my first speech, and that itself was the key moment for me, my aha moment, when I realized that I broke my own beliefs, that I thought, I broke that shell that protected me from the outside world. That shell that, I thought, prevented people from hurting me. Because I used to believe that if I did not step out of the shell, I will be protected. I will be okay. But it was not true. When I broke that shell, that imaginary shell, I found that that I was able to create new beliefs in myself, that I can do it, that I can create confidence in myself, I can speak to people, and I can approach people. In Toastmasters, you would meet a lot of people from different organizations, from different cultures, and you have to go out there and socialize with them, because there's always this break time that we would go out there and say hello to each other. And because of the pressure from the peers that we must do that socialization, it pushed me forward to make myself interact with other people. It was from there I met people from different cultures, different work experiences, and I joined the Toastmasters committee, where I had the chance to work together with other people and organize events. And during that time, we had a lot of events such as Speechcraft, where we do organize these speeches that are conducted in each other's homes, and it was so fun because we had suppers after that. We organized dinners at each other's houses. We organized even outdoor activities, and there were a lot of individuals who were same age as me, and we clicked so well. Even individuals who are seniors, and learned a lot from them. Yeah. And it was this time that I really experienced life like a new individual. That was so wonderful, and There was this time that I also met my future husband, and life started to pan out on its own. Throughout my life, I had met many mentors that came in my life one way or another. And because of these mentors, I keep learning. I was like a sponge. I wanted to know what was the best strategies to do things in a more effective way based on their past experiences. And I was fortunate enough to join an awesome team that showed me how fun work can be and how rewarding it can be. To work on a project that has positive impact on people's life. I absolutely love the work that I do, and I am proud of how far I have come. I realized that it does not matter how much you have studied, how many degrees or diplomas that you have gone through. What is important is that goal of learning is not just to gain knowledge, but is to apply that knowledge, which is the most important thing of education. Applied knowledge can change lives. And in those life experiences that I went through, it helped me to connect to my life purpose and give back to others. My intent of this sharing is so that I hope by sharing this journey of mine, it would help you somehow in your journey. Maybe you're listening right now and some of my experiences resonate with yours. And I hope that I can bring value into your lives. And I believe that my purpose of this channel is to help you create a life that you love and master doing what you love. So if you like my video, give my video a thumbs up and press the subscribe button so you can receive the new videos that come up. And if there's any topics that you are interested to know, let me know in the comments below. It will mean so much to me if you could comment below and tell me about yourself and tell me about your journey too. So I look forward to seeing you in my next video.